In the chaos of the game, they break it down. Talking trash, cracking jokes, they own this town. PGN podcast, they're on the prowl. Sports and nonsense, they wears a crown. PGN podcast, oh, you can't look away. Stats and laughs, yeah, they sing your day. From the field to the mic, they always play. PGN podcast, here now.
What up, what up, what up? PGN Podcast here, episode 128. Yeah, I have no shirt on. Who cares? I'm Scumbag McGee. Get over it. Yeah, man. So, how was your week before we get into it?
Week was fun. It was a little of a rest week, but now we have summer school next week, so I'm here. Just none. Just high school kids calling me saying they gonna need some money when they go to college, and I'm just like, once again, not your parent. I don't have funds like that. I told their parents I'm gonna charge them because it's ridiculous.
Yo, bro, you're the uncle. You gotta
Please,
at least like $5.
please. If I hear Uncle Za one more time, I promise you, I'm going to lose it.
That's like a debate. Like when
you new face of your life, man. You're now the uncle, man. That's just how it is, man. You just gotta accept it.
I already have a niece. I'm not your uncle. And they like, you uncle. Just shut up. I'm like, okay, that's nice.
My thing is this has been a debate. How old do you have to be uncle? This has been a question for a lot of people because one time they asked a bunch of NFL players, and Mike Evans was like, "Yeah, they were calling some guy Unc one time, and he was 28." I'm like, "What? Like, is he Unc?" But I guess these 60-year-old kids, that could be their uncle. If you think about it, like a 28-year-old uncle is not crazy. You know what I mean? I don't know.
That's ridiculous.
They call they call Shannon Sharp Unc, right? He's like fucking 60.
Yeah, he's in his 50s. That makes sense.
See, that makes sense. That makes sense. Like they'll be like, "Yo, Zah, you pushing like 80, bro? Like when you gonna settle down?" I'm like, once again,
you get that enough. You get that enough from his family. So I know he don't want to hear that from like his high school students. So
I'm like, all right, guys. Like,
I remember when I was 14, probably around that time, my dad was like 30. And I was like, damn, you old. And I'm like, and then when I turned 30, but I was like, you feel old now? I'm like, that's kind of crazy. I was calling you old and you were like 30, 31 years old. But I guess how when you're young, you look at it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, it's crazy. I'm like, because they love me. I'm like, every young boy's not a young boy. Like he's 26. He's closer to my age than you guys are to his age. Like what are you guys talking about? I'm like, yeah, but he's a young boy. You just God. I was like, okay. What's piece of shit, bro?
All right, yo. So, how was your week, K-Dap?
It was all right. I mean, I went to a friend's birthday party. Some people had fun with that. They thought it was something more than it was, but nah, it was cool. It was good to see that.
Oh, you mean when you was with that girl, bro? I was like, oh shit, what's going on?
Nah. It was an old work friend. So.
Listen, you know me.
Yeah. That's how it starts.
Yeah, that's how it starts. Yeah. I had a surprise work yesterday. Had to cover some event. Took longer than it should have, but it was all right. Other than that, typical me. Just go to the gym and all that stuff. So I live a pretty simple life. What about you, Shirtless McGee, as they're already calling you that?
Shout out to Reed.
It's the same shit. That's what I like. What I like about us is that we work and go to the gym. That's what we do. Like we work, go to the gym. That's the staple in our week. So any of y'all watching, for the most part, at least 3 days a week in the gym. I do 4 days. I used to do 5. I used to do 5. I was going too hard. I was getting tired. But yeah, at least do 4. Do an hour, nothing crazy. You know, sometimes even if you just do cardio, it's good. You gotta get the ball moving because there was a time where I wasn't going to the gym and I was like picking stuff up and I'm like, this shit is not supposed to be heavy, but it's heavy to me.
Yep.
But it's like, when we're kids, we're always active. When I was 16, I was after school basketball. We had gym. We played basketball. I played sports like 7 days a week when I was a kid. It was like nonstop, always moving or running, football, basketball, baseball. And then when you get older, it's not like that no more. You're just always on the couch after work.
Yep.
So you start losing that muscle, you start losing that activity. So, you got to find it somehow, somehow, some way. Even if you go outside and walk. I tell my parents that all the time, walk. Just even if you just
It's one
walk
thing.
around the block, just get active. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, let's get to these topics. A lot of hot sport topics this week.
All
Yeah.
right. All right. Topic number one, Saint Za, your nightmare is over. The Giannis saga is finally over as he's been traded to the Miami Heat. I have particulars here. Giannis Antetokounmpo will go to the Heat as well as Bobby Portis. The Bucks will receive Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez Jr., Kaspers Jakubčunas, the 13th pick, which is that turned out to be Nate Amons. Two first-round picks in 2031 and 2033. A pick swap in 2030 and a second-round pick in 2033. So obviously, this has been an ongoing situation. Pretty much started last season. That Giannis Antetokounmpo, his time in Milwaukee has come to an end. Obviously, it was a very successful run for Giannis. He won a championship in 2021, had a couple MVPs, a lot of All-Stars, All-NBA, you name it. He did all that in Milwaukee. So now he goes to Miami. Obviously, the Miami for the last couple seasons, they were not a playoff team. Well, they were a playoff team for the most part, but it was kind of, first round exits. So obviously Miami's not used to that. They're used to being a contender in the Eastern Conference. So they're looking to do just that. My thoughts on that are I don't see it right now. You see the roster. Obviously, the reports say they're probably not bringing back Norman Powell. So that's a key contributor in their rotation that they're going to lose. They traded away Tyler Hero, Khalil Ware, Jaime Jaquez. Those were players from the depth that they lost. I mean, Bobby Portis, that's a good acquisition. He's a good three-point shooter off the bench, so that helps. Obviously, Andrew Wiggins has a player option that he might – they hope that he does not take it. So maybe, they re-sign him for a lower salary number, maybe get a little under the salary cap so they could acquire a couple of other players as well. But I'm looking at this like – you got to look at the Eastern Conference as it stands right now. The defending NBA champions are now in the Eastern Conference. You have Boston, obviously Jaylen Brown, that situation notwithstanding. Indiana and Tyrese Halliburton will be back, so they should be pretty formidable in the Eastern Conference. Detroit, there's a lot of speculation on what they're going to do. They're going to be a top team in the Eastern Conference. Atlanta, obviously, they had a good season. They made a couple good draft picks, so we'll see about them. Philadelphia, but at the end of the day, I think Miami, they should be in the top six, but is that really enough to contend in the East? I don't think so. They're going to have to make some moves. They might not be able to make the moves this coming season. It might have to be next offseason for them to really contend in the Eastern Conference. For the Bucks, obviously, they could have traded him. They could have traded Giannis for Jaylen Brown, but obviously, if they did, Jaylen Brown has a big extension coming up. That's part of the reason why there's speculation about Boston trading him away. So they probably were like, hey, if we get Jaylen Brown, we're probably not going to be that much better. And obviously, do we even keep him if we traded for him? So they probably looked at, hey, you know what? We got some young players. We got some picks. It's going to be a long rebuild. So let's see what we can do. So that's my analysis. I'll take it to Saint Za. Obviously, you have a lot to say. You've been talking about Giannis for a year, so I'm going to let you go, Saint Za.
Thank goodness this shit's over, bro. Like, I'm just happy he's happy so he can shut up about this. I don't want to leave. I want to leave. I don't want to leave. Like, yo, bro, you're more indecisive than women when they don't know what they want to eat, bro. Like, yo, get it together. I was like, bro, you want to leave. It's okay. Putting these damn Milwaukee, first of all, if they live in Milwaukee, it's cold up there, man. They already have some miserable lives up there, and you just add into it. You won a championship there. They took on your brothers. I am glad that Pat Riley put an end to that shit. He's like, listen, your brothers, they need to go somewhere else. Chinese G League, wherever they need to go. That's it. But and now they're about to lose Norman Powell. I think this will take a year for them to really figure this out because without Norman Powell, now I don't know. They have a point guard, but they don't have a bench. Like Scumbag McGee says offline, they'll figure some things out. But I think this is just a year team away from actually making some noise. But it does show that Knicks championship has rattled a lot of teams, and a lot of teams are making some desperate moves. We just saw a trade for Miles Bridges. Like I'm just saying, everyone's trying to revamp. We still don't know. Like the Jalen Durham wants to leave Detroit. Like what's going on? Like he wants a contract. Like everyone is just rattled by this 53-year championship that happened. Like, but I do think this makes Miami better. The Bucks, Lord have mercy. And now they're about to trade. They're thinking about trading Miles Turner. So like they're just in complete rebuild mode. And shit happens. So, but the Giannis thing is over. I don't want to hear from Giannis for another year. He just goes on. He just says, and he has another kid. Go right ahead. But I don't want to hear Giannis complain about everything. If he goes there and complains, just send him back to Greece. If he goes to Miami and complains, send his ass back to Greece. Just send him back and his parents and his brothers, please. That's all I got to say on that one.
I don't know. I just think that one thing Kofi's right is that the depth, and I think a lot of teams, surprisingly, the big deal with the Knicks when they had Thibodeau was they weren't playing that depth, and finally when they started playing that depth, they started running teams at the building. You know what I mean? And I think a lot of teams, surprisingly, I never seen these teams scramble like this in a long time. Like the Knicks really had everybody like, we got to revamp our roster. We got to be 10, 11 deep. You know what I mean? And it's going to be kind of crazy that everyone's doing that because it looks like the Knicks might lose a lot of their depth, you know, with James Dolan not wanting to go into the second apron. Looking like keeping Mitch is going to be hard. Keeping Sami is going to be hard. You know, they're trying to make cap space so they don't go into the second apron. You're hearing, I don't know, we're going to re-sign Jordan Clarkson. McBride might be on the trade block just to build some kind of salary cap. You know, so I don't know what's going to happen with the other teams, but as far as this trade, it definitely makes the Heat better. You get a former MVP, a former NBA champion. This guy when he plays, he plays 100%. The guy gives it to you on both ends of the floor. You know what I mean? The one thing that I guess we could question is his health. He hasn't been super healthy the past couple of years. Could it be that he was actually injured or he was just trying to stay healthy to get traded? I guess we'll find out. But the starting five is good. They got Bam, they got Portis, Giannis, Andrew Wiggins, and Davion Mitchell. So that they keep Jokic, which they did want to keep Jokic. They loved him. He was hurt a lot last year. So he's their probably sixth man. I just think they'll figure it out. I think Pat Riley figures it out. I mean, the Knicks and the Heat have had a rivalry for years, and it always seems like the Heat always have a player or two that's like, who the fuck is this guy dropping 25 points off the bench? Who is this guy? Like they always have some guy that they plug in and they make it work. And I just think that Pat Riley is good at that. And I think Spoelstra's a good coach. Like he was named, I think they had the best 15 coaches or 11 coaches in NBA history. Spoelstra was named in one of those, and that list. That's a high accolade. You know what I mean? Like they're putting him in the conversation with the great coaches of all time with Phil Jackson and Pop and Pat Riley and whoever else was on that list. Like, so
Doc Rivers on that list.
Doc Rivers on that list. Oh God.
Don't mention that list name because
Yeah, okay. I take it back. That's terrible. I, I don't know why they just amped that guy up, bro. That's kind of crazy.
like I
Um,
said, I'm happy that Mike Brown won because now the Doc Rivers thing is over.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, Mike Brown should probably be on our list. He won Coach of the Year twice. He got a championship. He's been all around the league for a minute, so he should be up there at this point. But yeah, I think the Heat they'll be formidable this year. I think they'll be a top six seed. I think they'll definitely be there. I don't think they'll be a playing team. I think they'll be a top six seed. We'll see, man. Because one thing the Knicks proved is Brunson was right when they. I was here saying the trade for Giannis mid-year. I'm like, fuck it, get Giannis, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? We gotta trade Towns, we gotta trade Bridges, do it. Because we've been trained to believe that you need a team full of stars to win a championship. And the Knicks showed that, hey, Brunson said it. Listen, we just got Cat last year. We just got McKell last year. Give us a chance. Give us a chance this year. If we don't do it this year, then we'll see what happens. But look, what the Knicks had was, the chemistry. The chemistry was what won the championship. Everybody knew where everybody was going to be at. Everybody knew how to play and where they wanted the ball, and they were cool enough that Cat was like, "Listen, run the offense through me," and they were like, "Okay, cool, let's do it." All that took, a couple of years to play together to believe in each other, and it happened. So, like maybe you guys are right. Maybe next year they'll be in the conversation, but they won't be contenders. Maybe they'll take another year to kind of make that happen. But yeah, Giannis in Miami. I know he's happy. He's gonna be in a great city. No taxes. He gets all his fucking money. I know he loves. I know everybody loves that.
Yep.
And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it works with him and Bam. Because Bam's a center. He's Giannis not an outside shooter. He's in the paint. Does that affect Bam? Does that make Bam more of an outside shooter? I don't know. We'll see.
What's the next trade that happened? Another big one that happened. He froze.
Yeah, I think he froze.
Well, I'll go into it.
There he is.
Hornets are done with.
Oh, you're here?
Okay.
You're here? Okay. I think you froze for a little bit.
Yeah, you froze for a
Go
little
ahead.
bit.
No, I'm here. Yeah, it might be on my end because
Okay.
it's been a little weird on my end, but I can still hear you guys. So,
Yeah.
all right. So we got another
Cool.
trade, a big trade this week. The Charlotte Hornets make a big trade. They send LaMelo Ball and Josh Green to the Minnesota Timberwolves in exchange for Naz Reid, an unprotected 2033 first-round pick, first-round pick swaps in 28, 29, and 30, as well as second-round picks in 29, 32, and 33. So obviously the Minnesota Timberwolves, they've been making a lot of moves. Obviously they got rid of Julius Randle and trade before the draft. They got rid of him to the Nets, and now Naz Reid is gone. So now Minnesota, they're very small now. They don't have a power forward. Talk that Jaden McDaniels might start the power forward position. So we'll see what happens with that. Obviously, I heard the reports saying that Ant Edwards was getting tired of being double teamed. So obviously, you get LaMelo Ball, that gives you another ball handler, and you can't really double team Ant as much. Now LaMelo Ball is a 3-point shooter, so and obviously his ability to pass, he'll be able to go bear some lobs. But at the end, this kind of hurts Minnesota's depth, and that was a strength for theirs last couple seasons when they made their playoff runs. And now, obviously, they have a good starting lineup, but depth's going to be an issue for them. It's going to be an issue for them, especially the Western Conference. I don't think this puts them in a level with the Thunder or the Spurs, so it's going to be tough. But obviously, they're thinking is, hey, let's get LaMelo, let's get Ant together. Hopefully, that combination gives us maybe a couple more years where we can maybe replenish things. But as of right now, I see Minnesota as maybe in that third, fourth spot in the Western Conference. So those are my thoughts there. In terms of for the Hornets, we heard that Saint talked about it earlier. They traded Miles Bridges to the Suns, so obviously they're trying to revamp things. LaMelo, Miles Bridges, in terms of players, in terms of people, in terms of how they are, they could be a little, I wouldn't say bad, but well, Miles Bridges had that situation, so obviously he has a bit of a reputation. LaMelo's kind of more immature, both on and off the court at times. So obviously, Charlotte's obviously saying, "Hey, this is now a Concanipple and Brandon Miller team. Those are the two players that they're building the team around." But as you saw, I talked about it last season in the chat. They had a very, very good offense. It was one of the top offenses in the NBA from January on. Obviously, it didn't work in the play-in. What happened with Orlando, but so they might take a step back a little bit. They may be still in that play-in mix. They may not even make the play-in, but they're probably looking at, hey, long term, we have Concanipple, we have Brandon Miller, and we can build off of that. Maybe to the point where in a few years we could be a top team in the Eastern Conference. So those are my thoughts. Scummag McGee, what are your thoughts on this trade for LaMelo Ball to the Minnesota Timberwolves?
I think it's gonna be fun. Definitely fun to watch. The alley-oops are gonna be crazy. For the most part, Ant-Man and LaMelo are like almost the same person off the court. Like they joke around a lot. You're gonna see them at parties a lot. You're gonna see a lot of women pregnant and them just paying off the child support and not raising their kids. Like you're gonna see a lot of that going on over there in Minnesota. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be must see TV. It's just I think last year, like Kofi pointed out, they made the play-in, the Hornets, and you saw a lot of LaMelo kind of being inefficient. Missing a lot of threes, taking a lot of shots that just weren't good shots, and they saw that as this ain't gonna work. You know what I mean? It's not gonna work. We need more efficient shots. Maybe get better on defense. Maybe build a team around, like you said, Brandon Miller and Concanipple. They get Royce O'Neal, who's a good defender. They get Grayson Allen, a great three-point shooter. Kobe White had a lot of big shots for them in the Heat game, so they gave him a longer deal to have him start for them. So I like what they did, the Hornets. I think they got a lot of draft picks out of the situation. They get to build more for the future. I think they'll most likely be a play-in because what is it, like 12 teams in each conference or 12, 13 teams in each conference?
It's 10. It's 10.
10.
So
yeah. So I mean,
and then after that's the top 8.
Yeah. So 10 to play in, you got to be ass not to make the play in. You got to be mega ass. You know what I mean? So the mega ass teams, probably like the Bulls. I mean, they made the play
like what they did on the draft, the Bulls. I don't think they're gonna be a playing team next year, but I think I like some of the young players that they got in the draft. So
they made the play in last year. So I mean, like I said, you got to be mega trash to not make the play in. Like seriously, like the top 10 team out of 12. Like seriously. So I think the Hornets will make the play in. Will they be a contender? I don't know. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, I don't know. I think the Timberwolves are a weird franchise. Like, you trade Cat for Randall. I don't know if Cat really wanted to stay. That was a weird thing that they didn't keep. They didn't want to keep Cat because they made it to the Western Conference and they lost. But
they didn't want to go separate the second apron. That's what it was.
Okay, so they want to go to the second apron. And look, you got to be honest. Ant-Man's pissed at that for Cat to leave and win a championship without him, as supposedly him and Cat were really close. They're talking. He's saying that he wants to play with him again. So that was like rumors going around. Like, man, would he just be like, "Fuck it, go to the Knicks on a pay cut just to play with his friend"? You know what I mean? And the Wolves are like, "Fuck it, let's get this guy a fucking star, quote unquote star, to kind of shut him up and." Let him have fun because he's gonna have fun with LaMelo to try and keep him happy. I just don't know what it does for them. I just don't think LaMelo plays winning basketball. I don't think he does. I mean, DiVincenzo's out, but even when DiVincenzo played, like he's not a point guard; he's a shooting guard. They have Mike Conley. I don't know if he's coming back. He's an older player, but you you see when it comes down to it, like, yeah, is Brunson really a point guard? No, but I think Brunson, for the most part, like, he in the playoffs at least, he kind of let Mikel cook, he let Cat cook, he let OG cook. Like, he kind of knew to kind of get the ball out of his hands better this year. But you need a point guard who kind of knows the offense and to settle things down. You see, that was a difference in the finals. The Spurs didn't have that guy to calm them down and be like, listen, let's get into the offense, let's get into the sets. I know it's more wide open nowadays where traditional point guard is like kind of being phased out, but you still need a point guard that's aware of what's kind of going on. And I think LaMelo he goes out there and plays Rucker Park basketball, so I don't know what it does for them. I still think it's going to be either the Spurs or the Thunder coming out the West. This doesn't move the needle for them to beat those teams. So they'll probably just be a fun team to watch, and that's it.
Like both of you said, I agree with. Uh LaMelo and Ant-Man are gonna be great on commentary, and I know the media will have to blurt out a lot of what they say because you got two people who are around each other who are gonna say what they want and just go about it.
And amp each other up with it. And
Exactly.
they're going to
Yeah.
be like, yeah, say it, yeah.
They're gonna be like, yo, who can say the craziest thing on me? So I'm like, yeah, I'm already know that. I know. But for the Timberwolves, they're kind of in a really weird place because I don't know what this team is. Like, yeah, now you got rid of Randall, the Nets. Jesus Christ. I'm not gonna go into that one, but like I know you had to get rid of Randall, but now it's like they've been in talks about getting rid of Rudy Gobert. So like I don't know how that situation is gonna go out. Now you don't have a bench, and it's like yeah, they'll be fun to watch. They'll have that one Wednesday night game where they give the Spurs or the Thunder a run for their money and they win. With LaMelo shooting a three, but how like come back to how consistent is that when you have to face them in a 7-game series, like, yeah, A-Man's not going to get double teamed, but LaMelo may not shoot the ball as well. So, like, there's always that. The Hornets, they're a solid team. They should be like seventh, fighting for six with their squad. They got a lot of bench. They got a lot of depth. Nas Reed's a good shooter, so I feel like the Hornets kind of won on this deal. And people aren't going to give them their credit because it's the Hornets, but they did a solid job of building up their team. The Nets, you
I'm
you
surprised you
needed
even want to bring this up.
Hey,
because I had to. I had to.
you had a point. You're like Randall and Porter. There's only one basketball.
Like, guys,
Oh yeah. I sent that. Yeah.
you need to learn to share the ball, and now it's like you just have two ball dominant people on the team who's going to be like, yo, it's my turn, your turn, and that never works in the NBA. It's never worked. Just goes to show what happens when bad franchises do bad franchise things. So
Hey, look, the Nets had to do something. They had to do something. Like
They had
you
to.
can't
They were
be
terrible.
that irrelevant in New York. You just can't. They're like the most irrelevant franchise in New York right now. So they had to do something.
they're not a franchise in New York. I don't know what they are.
On it, but I get it.
It's just a franchise in limbo. They're not even a franchise in New York. Like no one in Brooklyn is celebrating them right now. No one in Brooklyn has a Brooklyn Nets jersey. They have Knicks jerseys.
Yeah, they're probably all the team that won the NBA champion. That's all they got right
Thank
now.
you. So that's what I'm saying. I'm
You're
like,
probably hiding in Brooklyn right now.
you're not in Brooklyn. You're not in Brooklyn. I get it. But if they can, I'm hearing if they can get like, I know they say they're trying to get Jalen Brown. I don't know, but if they can make a move like that, he won't be relevant, but there will be talk. That's all I have to say on that one.
Yeah.
Scumbag, got anything else on this or no?
No, I'm good. The Nets just like you said, Kofi, they had to do something. I mean, especially the Knicks won the championship. It's like you had to get somebody. Maybe Randall brings them out the basement like he did with the Knicks a couple years ago. He did do that. Let's not forget that. He was the one that kind of made the Knicks relevant again. Randall.
Yeah, and
He
if he
played
plays
good.
well, you can flip it. You can flip it at the deadline. So
Yeah, definitely. So I mean, we'll see what it does. Just come back to Jersey, man. Just come back to Jersey. Just stop. You moved over there. You opened the stadium. Not a stadium. They got events there. They got concerts. They got shit going on. Do the girls play there? Does the Liberty play in
but
Barclays?
that's why, though. That's
Yeah.
why. It's not really about the Nets. Honestly, it's Barclays Center. It's in Brooklyn. It's easy to get to. So people go there to watch basketball. They don't go there to watch the Nets. So the
Yeah,
Nets ownership benefits from that. So it doesn't
yeah,
matter if they're not a good team. People are going to go to Barclays Center to watch basketball. So
yeah. The Liberty
they're not
won
going
the
to go all the way
championship.
to Newark. No offense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's different now. People from New York have moved to. I mean, I don't know. I get when they did the initial move. You had Jay-Z involved, and it was fun, and it was like new. And I think the climate of Newark wasn't conducive to a basketball team, but Newark has kind of changed a lot. You have a lot more people who live here from New York. They're making it
Yeah,
more
yeah,
they're making it more
that
of a
is true.
city where you can kind of live there and be around, and it's not as downtown Newark, not as hood as it was when we were growing up. It's a lot more cleaner. You know what I mean? So yeah, I think if they came back to Prudential Center, it'll be good for them. I think it'll make them at least a little more relevant, and you'll definitely have more people going to the games.
All right. Well, I can see Saint Zod definitely wants to move on, and so we will do that. Our next topic is the World Cup. We're now at the round of 32. There's a game going on right now between South Africa and Canada in LA. I know some Canadians
Let's go
aren't happy
Canada.
about that. They wish the game was either in Vancouver or in Toronto, but Saint Zod, I know who you're rooting for. You're definitely rooting for Canada, obviously, right?
Let's go Canada.
All right, so I'll read off some of the matchups here. Germany will face off against Paraguay. France will face off against Sweden. South Africa, as I said, will face Canada as that matchup is going on right now. Netherlands will face off against Morocco. Portugal against Croatia. Spain against Australia. The U.S. against Bosnia and Herzegovina. Belgium against Senegal. Brazil versus Japan. Ivory Coast versus Norway. Mexico versus Ecuador. England versus Congo. Argentina versus Cape Verde, Australia versus Egypt, Switzerland versus Algeria, and Colombia versus Ghana. Obviously, that's a matchup I'm very interested in. Ghana had a disappointing matchup against Croatia last night, so we'll see how they bounce back. It's going to be a very tough opponent. Looking at the bracket, I see it as look at Argentina. They have an easy pathway to the semifinals. And obviously, you see how Messi's playing. No doubts about how even at his age, that he's one of the greatest soccer players of all time. Another goal last night, 6 straight World Cup matches. I mean, that's just great stuff, man. I don't see how you can't say that they're the favorites, in my opinion.
Yeah, that
France,
team is
they're
stacked.
another favorite, but their bracket's tough. If they win, they're gonna have to face let's see, they're gonna have to face Germany in the next round. So that's not an easy task, and then the Netherlands. Coming up as well. So they have a tough bracket. So if they get to the finals, they're going to earn it. So obviously we're here in the U.S. They have a opportunity to get to the quarters and face off against Spain. Bosnia, if they could win that one, and then either Belgium or Senegal in the next round. So the USA, they've looked so far good. Obviously the game against Turkey, but they were playing mostly backups. So we'll chalk that up to, that game didn't really mean much. So obviously, hey, if the U.S. makes a run, it's going to be a big story. Soccer here, it's like it's always been that sport. Hey, it's coming. So it's finally showing to the point where I think the interest in soccer is there. So
yeah, it is.
I'm talking extrapolation here, obviously. So, but as I said, USA, if they can make a run, it'd be big for the sport. So those are my thoughts. Saint Za, obviously you've been really interested in the African countries, and a lot of the African countries have advanced to the round of 32. So I know that's something that you're really looking forward to.
Yes, I am, but Ghana, come on, like I was like, you know what? But you guys advanced. I wish they didn't tell you guys that you guys have advanced to the round of 32. I think you guys kind of took your foot off the gas pedal a little bit, but that's neither here nor there. Cape Verde,
Remember, Croatia,
you
they had to win that game.
that-
So they had to play that. They had to win that game. So you could tell that they wanted a little more than Ghana. So
yes.
that had to play a factor in it as well.
Cape Verde, they've been really good. I know people were making fun of why they made, but like they have to learn to score. These 0-0 like can't happen. It can't happen. You at least need a goal. You at least need a one goal. The African teams I've very been impressed with. Ivory Coast has been really good. So, but like all in all, this has been probably one of the better World Cups that I can remember up to date. That there's just so much interest and buzz in it. I don't know if it's it being in America, but I've been around. Like I've been watching games with people from Norway. I did the Norway roll. I mean, it just feels like a really fun time, and I'm really loving it. US, like you said, they have a chance. They've been looking really good. I don't really count the game against Turkey, but like outside of that, in Argentina, like yo, Messi didn't even have to do that last night. He did not have to do that. He didn't even play in the first half. He came in the second half to score a goal. I'm like, oh, that. Come on, come on. Ronaldo, he had a good game, but you know, he still showed some little old last game. So this is a legacy. Yeah, this is a legacy World Cup for him. This is really a legacy World Cup for him. He needs to go out there and show out. Messi and Mbappe, they're killing it right now. You kind of look like the old man in. You look old. You look old. I know that game where he scored 2 goals really made him feel alive again, but that was one game, bro. Now it's time. Either step up or go back to the hood, as Michael Irvin would say.
Yeah, definitely one of the better World Cups I've watched. I think what adds to it is that it's in the U.S. and to see all these countries kind of come here and indulge in the food, indulge in the culture is dope. You see all the the different races we have in America
Yep.
because just in Newark, if you go to the Ironbound section, it is ridiculous out there.
Mm-hmm.
Every country is being represented over there. And like I know somebody, one of my friends I have on Instagram, he's real cool with the mayor, and the mayor's like almost out there every night at the in Ironbound. Like
Yeah.
the Ghana shit, he was going crazy. I think he was
Yeah,
drunk.
because his wife's Ghanaian. That's why. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he was like drunk, I think, and he was fucking dancing, he was jumping around. It was fucking insane. Um, but yeah, it's like even the local bars out here. Like I mentioned last week, I went to a bar just to chill and have some food by myself. Colombia was packed in there. One night in Mexico at a random bar here in Belgium was packed with Mexicans. Like it's insane. It's fun to watch, and the games are good. I mean,
Yeah.
to see like the Ivory Coast and these lesser teams just be in the mix is real fun. USA being really good, it's fun. I watched the Turkey game, and it was just like last minute, man, they scored. I'm like, come on. It was like pissed me off, but like he said, it was backups playing, but I still would have wanted to see the end of the tie. But yeah, it's just been fun to watch and to see USA finally kind of be relevant and kind of maybe have a chance to go on. Their bracket I see here maybe a little rough if they face Belgium next. That'll be a tough game. Senegal hasn't played bad either.
Spain after that. That's not gonna be easy either. You know, that's
Yeah.
won the World Cup in 2010. So
And Spain and Portugal and Croatia and Austria, that's crazy.
yeah.
So that'd be tough. But yeah, I mean, if USA could pull this off, hey, we watched the Knicks win. Who would have thought that? You know what I mean?
Trust me, if they ever win a World Cup, oh my god, it's
even if they beat, let's say they win, right, and then they beat Belgium, it's gonna be mayhem after that.
Yeah.
Like if you go to the quarterfinals and the last fucking 8 teams, it's gonna be fucking mayhem. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I rarely watch the World Cup as the years have gone by, but this one I've been kind of invested in a little bit.
Yeah.
But before these games, it was a lot of games. It was like fucking the games would start during the weekend at 12, so it was kind of hard to keep up with all the games. But now that the games are going to be more spread out, I'll probably be more invested watching almost every game, especially when it dwindles down to like the last 16, last 8. I'll probably be watching every game after that. But it's been exciting. I know it was rough for me last couple times because like you're watching a whole 2-hour game and it's 0-0. You're like, what the fuck is this shit? Like I want to see some scoring, but they've been scoring. They've been scoring this World Cup. I don't know if that's something the rules are doing more now. The players are just better. I don't know what it is, but it's the scoring's been up there. Yesterday's game was like I know both teams were Colombia and Portugal. That was like a big game, but
Mm-hmm.
both teams went on anyway, so it wasn't like a huge game. But I know both teams really want to win, and that offsides, man. I mean, it's something they got to look at too. That offsides with the end of the game, like his fucking pinky toe was there.
So yeah.
Like, come on, man. Like, you gotta let that go, dude. Like, there has to be a new rule where like your whole foot has to be over. You have to be completely over the line. Like for that to be offsides, like he wasn't even behind the defense like that. Like seriously. And the guy was next to him. So he was standing next to the guy, the defender. The defender's heel was like right behind the line, and his pinky toe was a little bit. That's offsides, dude. The defender's right there. Like, come on. That was kind of crazy. So maybe that's one thing they got to switch up. I know that was something hockey kind of switched up. I know it was their offside. I don't know what rule. I don't know if Kofi knows the rule.
Yeah, it was a 2-line pass. They got rid of that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That was like it was getting ridiculous with that. You know what I mean? You have to create more offense. Baseball has done it. They have the pitch count now. Like you gotta. It's just you're in a world now where it's like you have to have more offense. Like look at the NBA. It's all like we used to growing up. It was like 88 to 86. Now the games are like
fucking was isolation in the low post. Now it's like either 3-point or transition. So
yeah, you have games now. Like I mean, the finals was tight, but for the most part, it's like 120 to 115, and those are what people want to see. Look at football. Football is just you can't touch the quarterback. They made every rule for the offense. Yep. You can't touch the quarterback. You can't hit a defensive receiver. You can't do shit now to the offense. And look what has happened. The NFL is just exciting to watch. It's really any given Sunday now. So maybe soccer now has to realize that they got to kind of catch up to what's going on. It's hard maybe for them because soccer is looked upon as the world sport.
Yeah.
Like it's the world sport. Like they may be more stuck in their ways. Like fuck that, we're not changing it. You know what I mean? But coming over here to the U.S., maybe they change it. We'll see. But yeah, it's been a fun World Cup for me so far.
Even the last night's game, Algeria versus Austria, ended in a tie, and they scored in the last couple of seconds before the added time was up. I was like, yo, that's great. That's what's needed. I think this is like the highest attended World Cup. I'm just like, yo, it's just a different feel. Like I think like this is what the World Cup soccer needed. And now to even American fans are more invested than any time because now it's here. So this has just been a flat out home run. Shout out to the World Cup.
Every stadium has been packed. Every stadium.
Mm-hmm.
It's been crazy, and I love seeing everyone. Like one side country has like their jerseys on the other side, and it's like it's not even a home game for anybody, dude. No. Like anybody scores, the crowd is going ballistic. Like you don't know who's the home team, who's the favorite. You don't fucking have no idea. Like it's just fun, man. And for the most part, we haven't seen really any violence, which is dope.
No, crimes down and shit like that. You had the Bosnians walking around in Inglewood, and Inglewood is not a nice place if you know people who live out there. So like, it's just been a really good time. You see people, you see like fans switching their jersey. Like if there's someone wearing like Ghana, they're switching with the North. Like that's it shows to a lot of people that America isn't as crazy as people think it is, and this has actually made America look much better in light than in recent years. No shootouts, no nothing. Like this is great.
The Norway, they're doing the Norway roll in Times Square. Like a
Yeah,
thousand fucking Norwegians out there just fucking doing the roll. Like it's nuts.
Yeah.
I seen a video where there was like a fucking Mexican dude wearing a fucking Ghanaian jersey. Like he's
yeah.
fucking he's repping them. They're like, oh, the guy. They're like, yo, he's wearing a jersey. He's like, yeah, fuck it, yeah. It's like everybody just having fun together. So it's dope to see that.
It's all that's it, man. Sports brings people together. I think that's the real message.
Yeah.
Sports really brings people together.
Yeah.
All right, next topic. So the last good guy finally gets his due. Sami Zayn is now the new WWE champion as he won the title over Cody Rhodes and Gunther at Night of Champions last night in Saudi Arabia. So really, this has been an interesting story for Sami Zayn. Obviously, going into WrestleMania, the Trick Williams, the feud, the fans kind of turned on him. They kind of were on Trick Williams' side. Even though Trick Williams was supposed to be the bad guy, he was getting the positive reaction, and Sami Zayn was not. And as a result, he's really it changed his character into this nuance. Is he kind of a good guy? Maybe he has a little bit of a bad guy in him, but he's really played that character well, and that's really been Sami Zayn's story in WWE. The bloodline angle, that really popped off with his introduction into that angle as the Andre Uso, and his character play in that angle really took it to another level. So I think he was the unsung hero in the bloodline angle. So it's good to see him get rewarded with this title run. But I will caution people, I don't think it's gonna last. There's a lot of things at play here, and obviously one of them being Obafemi winning the King of the Ring. I think the obvious play, obviously people think him against Roman Reigns at SummerSlam, but I don't think WWE's going to do that. I think they're going to save that for a WrestleMania. That's a WrestleMania type of main event, so I don't think you want to waste that at SummerSlam, despite the fact that SummerSlam is their second biggest pay-per-view. So there's rumors about Brock Lesnar possibly faces Sami Zayn at Saturday night's main event at Madison Square Garden next month. If that happens, we kind of know the story there. If that does happen, we kind of know what's going to happen with that. So, but I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to say, hey, congratulations to Sami Zayn to win the WWE Championship. It was a long time coming. He's been in the company for 10 years. Paid his dues. Did think about it. You look at Sami Zayn, you're looking, I don't know. He doesn't look like a main eventer, but with his character work, his mic skills, his building the ring, he's really proven that he went from, bottom of the barrel to now being the WWE champion. It may not last long. Who knows how long it will last, but obviously Sami Zayn, he's won the championship, and it really does a good thing for WWE. I know you guys talked about it, Culture Wrestling. I kind of talked about it with you, Saint Zion, off air. WWE's been kind of stagnant a little bit. So this really freshens up the main event scene, especially. So who knows how long this is going to last? Who knows what happens in the weeks and months to come? But obviously, Sami Zayn, I think this was a good decision by WWE to put the title on him. So, Saint Zion, what are your thoughts on Sami Zayn becoming the WWE champion?
Honestly, like you said, this has been probably one of the better angles that they've had. They've pushed so far. The Sami calling out Cody for being the politician that he is. I was like, I like that. Sami Zayn has been, for the last 3 months, the best person on SmackDown. Like, SmackDown's been intolerable, but he's been a light in the darkness. And I gotta give, as much as he is the golden boy, I gotta give Cody Rhodes his. To get rolled up and lose in the ring, and he took the pin. I was like, yo, not a lot of top guys would do that. You don't see a lot of top guys get beat like that. So, like, I give Cody Rhodes a lot of credit for Sami Zayn, the underdog story. I hated when he was doing that, like, oh, I never win and all that type of stuff. But being the last good guy, I think was just so fresh, and I feel like this is well deserved. It was in front of his home country, and like those people went crazy for him, and it just shows when WWE gets it right, they get it right. And this is kind of a good time for them because no one knows where the story is gonna go. You got Brock versus Sammy. You could have you don't know who Oba's chosen yet. You have Oba there. It's Jay. I love it. Like this is what wrestling needs. And but there's still people that complain, and this is why wrestling fans suck anyway. So, but I happy for Sami Zayn. He deserves it. Like you said, to go from El Generico, which means just Jimp, to go from El Generico, where you wear a mask, and to be one of the most charismatic people on the mic, I think is great. That bloodline thing with him and Roman, amazing, amazing. So shout out to Sammy. You had to reward him somehow.
Yeah, I was surprised. I didn't know there was an event going on, but if you guys would have asked me who would have won that, no way. Sami Zayn was beating Cody Rhodes. So for it to happen is dope. It'll just show that Cody Rhodes is not like Hulk Hogan or something, that he's not gonna like take the pin and give up his belt no matter what if he feels it's wrong or whatever. It's crazy because I just mentioned that because I just saw like a whole thing on when Sting was supposed to beat Hulk Hogan for the championship. Hulk Hogan like thought about like an hour before the match, like, no, you know what? Matter of fact, I don't want to lose the belt. This is not gonna look right for and just like ruin everything. Like, that's what made him hated. And I think at least Cody Rhodes knows he's the golden boy and he's willing to kind of be like, all right, cool. I mean, I don't know behind the scenes, like Kofi's saying, he don't know if this will last that long. They could be trying to have like a match where Cody Rhodes wins it back or someone else wins it for a little bit. Like, you kind of had to get off Cody Rhodes a little bit. It was just like, we were saying it last time when you won the belt at WrestleMania, it was kind of just like, come on, man. Like, we'll just like get over it. We was tired of seeing this guy fucking get the belt. It just, it just sucks because I've been saying this for like since I kind of started watching wrestling a little bit again. Like, man, it's hard for me to watch wrestling because I just watched it at a time where there was 20 million stars. Like,
yep.
From the opening match to the ending match in Raw was like star-studded. Like if you look at all the past WrestleManias from like 2000, the 90s, it's just like ridiculous. Like some of the best matches in WrestleMania history on the card would be like the third match, not even the main event. And it's like those days are kind of like gone. Like it just isn't. I think now when I watched what's the last one I watched? I watched Fatu when he fought Roman Reigns. That was a good match. I just think that I don't know if the wrestlers kind of don't want to take the bumps that the old wrestlers were willing to take. It kind of looked like that. Like as Fatu and him were wrestling, they're wrestling outside the ring, and it's like nothing really major happened. Like the craziest thing that happened, I think, was when he speared him into the table. But I remember like when Stone Cold wrestled Bret Hart, and they talked about it on the Cracked Skull. What's that shit? The podcast
Broken
that
Skull
has Broken Skull.
Yeah, the Broken Skull. The Broken Skull podcast.
Yeah, like there was a part where Bret Hart suplexed him on the stairs outside the ring, and that was like not a big thing in the match. The biggest thing in the match is, of course, Stone Cold bleeding with the sharpshooter. But like that bump in the middle of the match, like it means something when you look back at it, when you watch the whole match again. Like when I was on Peacock, I'm watching like the old matches. I'm like, man, it isn't the same. Like I felt wrestlers back in the day put their body more on the line than the wrestlers now. Like they're just avoiding stuff because guess what? A lot of the old wrestlers, they're fucked up, man.
Can't walk.
They're fucked up.
They're fucked
up. Yeah, Mick is the worst. He's one of the worst bumps, But even like Undertaker has his podcast. He's like, man, it's rough.
Yeah, he got he's replaced, his head's replaced, all that.
He said he can't
Yeah,
even see out of his eye because remember when Rey Mysterio lands on him, say it's blurry
yeah,
vision. That's just crazy.
yeah. So I
Yeah, look
think
at Shawn
he's more
Michaels
rest.
died. Yeah.
Shawn Michaels, yeah, he's well also drug use, but they said it's really from the wrestling, from getting hit in the head all the time. And he
Yeah.
had a bad back for years. I didn't notice that. I saw him. He did a podcast with Carmelo Anthony, Shawn Michaels, and he talked about it. That I didn't know he was out of wrestling for like 3-4 years. He didn't wrestle. I
Yeah.
didn't know
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. He
look
missed the
how
attitude
big
era.
wrestling.
Yeah.
Yeah, look how big wrestling was that you didn't even notice this guy was gone for 4 years. This is
Yeah.
a Shawn Michaels was a top 5 wrestler of all time. He was
Mm-hmm.
gone and was like you didn't blink an eye because you still had The Rock, you still had Stone Cold, you still had all these guys. So you're like, okay, Shawn Michaels is gone, whatever. You know what I mean? I just think wrestling now is just not, you know, there as it was. There's stars coming up. Like I think Chick Williams is coming up. He's more in tune with the youth, and they try to push the Logan Paul thing. It looks like that hasn't really worked. Um, you know, Roman Reigns, I think he's been around for such a long time that people kind of like getting tired of him a little bit. Like he's still the tribal chief, and people still fuck with him because he's wrestling royalty, his family's wrestling royalty.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but like, do you really want to see the Usos win a championship? Like, do you like who's the guy that you want to be? Like, you got to bring like Brock Lesnar back, and it's to the point that Lesnar has a thing with Obafemi, who's not a big guy, like not a big star. He's getting there, but it's like, where's wrestling going? You know what I mean? So to give Sami Zayn this championship kind of steers it in a way of like, okay, maybe now you're making the matches more like who is gonna win.
Mm-hmm.
Where like we knew, like when the WrestleMania came, we're like, we know Roman Reigns is winning, Cody Rhodes is winning. Like we all kind of knew what was gonna happen, and it's like we got to get back to the point where you don't know who's gonna win. You have to at least do that. You know what I mean? So it's dope to see that, and like you said, well deserved, man. He's been in it for a minute, and it was a big win. I know everybody in the wrestling world was like, "What? No fucking way!"
No,
I
I
didn't know
saw that
everybody was
coming.
shocked. Yeah, hell no. When you said that in the fucking thing, I thought it was a fake tweet. When you said that in the chat, I'm like, I didn't look at it at first. I'm like, okay, that's a fake. But then like I clicked on it later. I'm like, oh shit, this is real. What the fuck? You know what I mean? So yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Congratulations to him. Hopefully it's we know it's not gonna be a big run. I
No.
just hope they don't. I hope they don't do it like they did Uso. Like he like lost it in like a fucking couple weeks. You know what I mean? Like don't do that. Let him rock with it. Give him like a fucking Drew McIntyre run. Give him
Yeah.
like a mini run. You know. And that's another guy. Where the fuck he's been at? Drew
Hollywood.
McIntyre. Like, come on. That's probably why I gave the belt up. They're like, fuck, you got this shit going on. But yeah, you need to start. They need to start. I don't know. It's hard, man. It's hard. It's just different. Vince McMahon was just a genius. You see it now. Vince McMahon was a genius, bro. He knew how to get these guys in there, and how many guys did he get from other leagues and wrestling things that just like turned them into these megastars? Stone Cold's the biggest one. He was a ringmaster. He had long blonde hair, and you know what I mean. And he's like, we gotta figure something out. You know what I mean? And they look, and there's a lot of wrestlers that have a lot of wrestlers have these rivalry, not a rivalry, but like this anger kind of at Vince McMahon. But one thing they don't do is rewrite history. They
Yeah.
say, bro, he made my career. It was his idea to do this. He was a genius. You know what I mean? So, I don't know. Triple H, I don't know what he's doing. Maybe TKO is involved and they don't know what they're doing. I don't know. But they
It
got to figure
seems like
something out.
more, yeah. That TKO thing, man. Whew.
Yeah.
All right. Before we go to Pepper Takes, a word from our sponsor, Saint Za.
Shout out to Nickel Pass for sponsoring us. Remember to download Nickel Pass so you get all your newspaper content with a single download and a low price of $19.99. Download Nickel Pass today.
All right, Pepper taking number one. So Barack Obama was on All the Smoke podcast, and the thing that really caught people's eye was his comments regarding Trump's obsession with him. He said that he found it weird, and that whenever he met Trump, that all the things that he said online, that wasn't the case when he met him. That he was kind of a little more, a little more cordial, nice about it whenever they had any face-to-face interactions. So we can take this many different ways. Not going to go political aspect because that's kind of, all that. But my interest in the point I want to make is it's kind of interesting when you see a lot of these rich billionaire types like Donald Trump or Elon Musk or Vince McMahon. They have a they're very, very insecure. And it's very interesting to me. It's like you got all this money. Why are you guys so insecure, thin-skinned about how people think about you or how people criticize you? It's interesting. Could it be Donald Trump obviously had some issues with his father, and his father was kind of tough on him. Could it be that? Obviously, there is a racial aspect to it, obviously, but is there? I think for me, it's like, it's always interesting to me. It's like it's clear that despite all the success that Donald Trump's had, despite all the money he's had, there's still in his heart of hearts, it seems that it's not enough for him. And maybe for me, I always felt like maybe it's because knowing Donald Trump, he's kind of, he's not the typical, when we think of rich people growing up, we think of him as high class and regal. They're always in these areas or these amenities. They have these amenities. It's like above anything that we can imagine. Knowing Donald Trump, that's kind of not how he is. He's kind of, you kind of look at him as like your local pimp in terms of how he acts or conducts himself. Yeah. So it's not, and I think those type of people look down on him. So and same thing with Vince. The rich people look down on them. It's like, hey, you might be rich, but you're not like us. You're kind of like, you're kind of out the way. So I think that's part of it, and I think that's part of it because people look at Obama. He's revered. He's well liked. He's revered, and I think for Trump, it's like, hey, why are you guys liking him and not me? We're kind of similar. It's like, not really. It's like that's not how it is. So I think for Trump, it's always been. I think he always wants to be revered and liked. Think about it. Look at the times he met Mondani at the White House. He's loving it because he sees Mondani. He sees how popular he is. He sees how popular he is and well liked. So I think that's part of the reason why he kind of likes the attention. He likes that positive attention. He feeds up the negative attention, but I think in his heart of hearts, he likes the positive attention. He wants to be known as, hey, Donald Trump, I'm this type of guy. And I think for Trump, it's like he'll never get that because that's not who he is. He can never be that type of person. He can't be that revered like person because that's not him. He is what he is. And I think for him, I think it feels like in a lot of ways, hey, yeah, he's had his success with his businesses. He's had his success of being a president, but at his heart of hearts, he's like, I want more. I want crave more, and he'll never get that. I think he sees Obama as, hey, I see Obama. I see that's what I want, but I can't have that. So instead, I'm just going to take shots at him all the time. So those are my thoughts on it. Obviously, Saint Zah, I know you had some comments on it, so you have a very different perspective. So I'll let you get your thoughts on Obama's comments on Trump and his obsession with him.
First of all, why is it that these politicians go on these podcasts and then talk crazy like we didn't see you haha and kicking with Trump at the funeral? Like, I listen. I'm not the biggest fan of Barack. I think he's kind of weak. Shout out to my dad who calls him arm boy, who he just flaps his arms. Like, like. Listen, I'm not the biggest fan of Barack. I don't like what he did in Africa. But my thing is like, yo, why are you talking about him? Like, you are in his face, but like, I just don't care what politicians do this. Like, what is this accomplished? Okay, Trump talks about he talks about everyone. You know he's a dickhead. Like Kofi said, he's a petty New Yorker. You know he's still mad about you about that thing you did to him in 2016, where you were making fun of him at the dinner and shit like that. Like, that's who Trump is. Like, I just don't care about, like, I'm like, Brock, you're buried. You're not tough like that, bro. Like none of these politicians are like that. Like it's okay. I get it. You go up there, you on the mic, you got Steven Jackson's like, yo, I'm gonna go talk to him. Come on, Brock. You're not like that, bro. It's all right. Go do your show with Larry David. I'll watch it. But like, I don't care for this. Like, it's just Democrat versus Republican shit. And I'm like, yo, we got other shit going on. Let me watch World Cup. But that's really how I got all on it. I just didn't care for it. It's just Democrats being Democrats as usual. What do you guys say about a scumbag?
Scumbag. What are your thoughts?
I don't know. I don't know. I think that Barack, it's tough to say because as far as professionalism, he was very professional, very well spoken. They didn't really try to rattle the cage as much when he was in office. And I think that's why he's really liked. You know what I mean? Like people are gonna it's the same comparison, right? If you do Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown, right? So the Celtics rather keep Jason Tatum because he's quiet, he plays basketball, he has no controversy going on, and then Jalen Brown's doing streams, he's fucking doing these like power youth movements where he's having these foundations and doing all kind of shit and being outspoken, and a lot of people don't like that. And that's the same thing with this. Like, do I agree with everything Donald Trump says? No, of course I don't. It's fucking a lot of shit he says is retarded. But I could say one thing: the man stays 10 toes on what he has to say. When he says something, he stays 10 toes down. If you don't like him for it, it is what it is. But it does come to a point where I do agree with Kofi. I don't know if he wants to be liked, but it does wear on you after a while when you're kind of like you go to a Knicks game and the crowd's booing you. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, dude. Like you're in New York City. He's a New Yorker.
New Yorker, yeah.
No, come on. You think that him going to New York, people will beat you? I didn't have a problem with him going to the game because I'm like, man, he's a New Yorker. He's always kind of gone to the games. He's always kind of supported the Knicks. You know, he probably really wanted to go to the game and see it. But for him to kind of go back to New York and then be booed, I know he's just like, come on, man. It wears on you after a while. You don't want to be booed every time you come out somewhere. And that probably wears on him. But I just think he talked about Obama and talks about people because he's done it his whole life. This is go back to Donald Trump in the 80s and the 90s, and he's always had an opinion on something. And he's always said stuff, and he's always said outlandish shit. He's always said crazy shit, and it's gotten to where he's at. So in his brain, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know what I mean? And he's gonna keep talking about. He was talking about Obama. Obama made fun of him at the presidential brunch, whatever that shit was called. And then he's the president now. So he's like, yeah, you made little jokes about me, bitch. I'm the president, and I did 2 terms. And I did 2 terms. So like, you know, and what they do like about Donald Trump, he has very thick skin. Like that shit doesn't like. They probably played it for him. What Brock said, he's probably like, whatever. Okay, you know what I mean? And he's a classic troll. Like you know how trolls are. They'll talk all this crazy shit online. They'll do all this shit on press conferences, and you see him face to face, and it's like, "Hey, what's up, man?" And you're like, "Hey, what's up, man? You just fucking ripped me." And it's like, "Oh, come on, you know it like that. You know we cool." He's just a classic troll. You know what I mean? And I've had maybe 1 or 2 incidents like that. Like, you know, it's never the same energy a person. I'll be honest. It just isn't. Like, it's just not. Like, there was one time some shit happened when I was promoting music at one time. Some artist got mad at me for I don't know what it was. He went like a smear campaign on me, and I DM'd him. I'm like, dude, what is up with you? And you know, people were like, oh shit, he kind of got you here. Oh shit, people were like hopping the controversy. And I said, dude, you know, I didn't mean it. I don't know what you're mad about. Like, you need to just take the post down, just leave it alone. And no, I ain't backing down. I'm 10 toes down. Da 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 da. Okay. And at the time, I was always going to mad events. I was always going to events. Guess what? 2 weeks later, we're in the same building. And he thought that I was gonna do something to him. He just approached me right away. He approached me. Oh, my bad. I didn't mean it that way. I'm like, dude, I really don't give a shit. Like, it is what it is. But he was so crazy online.
Yep.
It was like, dude. And then the energy just wasn't the same. It's like 9 out of 10 is not. It's just that is what it is. Like, it don't mean that like Obama trying to make it seem like he's a bitch. Like, he's not a bitch. He's a troll. You know what I mean? And half the time, these trolls, they don't mean what they say. They're doing it for attention. So if anything, Obama, you should have slapped him. If you're talking all that shit, you should have just slapped him.
But you he win, bro.
Yeah,
Like, and then everyone's
yeah,
like, oh, he's political. I'm like, yo, don't do that. That's what. And my bad, scum. My
yeah.
problem with Brock is you have that energy on the pod. That's what I'm trying to say. They go up there and they talk all this crazy. I'm like, we seen you live with him, sitting next to him. If you felt that way, go sit next to the man. Like we said, Donald Trump is a dickhead. He does what he is a natural born comedian. I think sometimes like now they're trying to do the Trump thing where it's like I can come off of school. I'm like, you guys aren't cool. Stick to what you know. It's okay. He's funnier than you guys.
And
Now
and
I got
Trump and and Trump actually did a roast. This is before he became president. This Trump has a thick skin. There's not much you can say to the guy to rattle him. He just doesn't care. So he does it. He does it to you because in his brain, he doesn't care. He's like, why do you care? I don't give a shit. The man got up there and got roasted. They're making fun of his hair. They're making fun of his girl. I saw the roast with my son like a couple months ago. I'm like, you want to see this roast? They were cracking up. They were going in on this guy. If you know a roast, they just go crazy on you, and he just laughing. He's like, okay, whatever, you know. So he don't give a shit what Obama said. You know what I mean? And Obama has to be more looking at him like he's just a troll. Don't even say, oh, he keeps the same energy in person. But like, he's a troll. I know he's a troll. I know he don't mean half the shit he said, and I don't take it anything personal. And that's it.
Yeah, it's like Skip Bayless. Yeah.
prime example. There
I
you go.
think Skip is more tough than Trump, to be honest. Because Skip would sit down, like Skip sat down with Draymond Green. And Skip has repeatedly said on his podcast and shows, I'll sit down with you. You're talking crazy online about me, coming at me crazy. Just do it on the show. Do it in person. Because he knows 9 out of 10 is not the same energy. Him and Draymond had a very civil conversation. Very civil conversation. And Draymond said, oh, I respect you for coming here. And Draymond had all this praise for him. Because at least Skip's going to be like, all right, let's do this on air. Let's fucking talk. You know what I mean? Trump's more going to be like, I ain't doing that. I don't got time for that. I ain't going to sit down and talk to you for what? So, that's it.
This felt weird. Like,
All right, our
Barry, you
last
got it.
pepper take. Oh, you got something to say, now?
No, I was saying, all right, Barry, you got it, bro.
Okay.
You on the
All right, our last pepper take. Now, last week, it was a celebration for all of the NBA champions and their fans, except for one individual. This lady, as we saw, she took a basket, I think it was a basket case, or a basket, let me see what it says specifically here. So, yeah, it was a Knicks theme trash can, or trash basket. We saw all the video of her taking it. And then she was on the subway with it, and away we went. It was funny because, ironically enough, people said that when they showed these Knicks theme trash baskets, oh, somebody's gonna steal that. Somebody's gonna steal that. And lo and behold, somebody did in fact steal it. Unfortunately for this individual, she lost her job as a result. She was I believe she was working for J.P. Morgan Chase as an executive, so she lost that position. Not only that, she had to return the Knicks theme trash basket as well. And what did the NYC sanitation department do? They tweeted out saying that they're gonna have a sweepstakes and they're gonna give out 5 of these. So more losses for this individual. Not only did she lose her job, and she had to return the basket, and now they're actually giving away the baskets in a contest. So more L's for this individual. So my thoughts on it is, what are you doing? It's 2026. Anything we do, whether it's us doing a podcast, us walking down the street, there's video cameras. People have cameras. So if you do anything untoward, it's going to be online instantly. So I don't know what this lady was thinking. It's like, as soon as you were doing it, you should have been like, oh, whoa, you should have saw the camera. Like, oh, whoa, wait, let me put this back. Let me not do something stupid. Let me not, get fined or lose my job as she did. It's like, I don't know. I think that theory about how the pandemic just permanently changed people's brain functionalities or something, it's true. Because it's like, yo, you gotta be like, what are you thinking? I'm like, you gotta know, hey, this is city property here. So you that's a fine and possible civil action. And so I don't feel bad for this lady. It's just like, it's a fun time. It's a parade. You gotta, just have fun. It's like you're doing too much there. It's like, oh, I get it. It's a special commemorative piece of something, but it's not yours to take. So I don't know. And I read that this lady's having a hard time getting other jobs. And as a result, it's like, yo, you're in line with the lady that stole a Knicks team basket. So it's gonna be hard to get a job. It's like, hey, we can't trust you outside of work to be civil. So I don't know, man. So I just look at it as like, oh, what are you doing? What are you doing? So scumbag. You obviously are a fan of the team. You didn't go to the parade, so I think you're probably glad you didn't. Seeing stuff like that, right?
Nah. I have people younger than me like, oh, go to the parade. I said, dude, I'm 41. I'm not doing that. It's too much. 1.5 million people in a building. I can't do that. Get the fuck out of here. Like I could barely be in a room with like 30 people. I get anxiety. But I don't know. I mean, I don't think she should have got fired, maybe fined. Because the crazy part was dumping the garbage. But she dumped the garbage. There was like a pile of garbage there.
Yeah, she got fined for that.
Yeah. That should have been a fine. I don't know about. Come on, man. Soon, like you said, soon as we saw the garbage cans posted online, everybody commented those are getting stolen. Like those are getting stolen. Like, why even do that? Why even, But also, like you said too, man, it's just everything's being recorded, and she shouldn't have took the chance. I don't think she thought she would have lost her job. She probably thought like, oh, I'll probably get fined. Fuck it, whatever. But to lose her job is a bit much. Like I like, and it's like the only time I feel like you should lose your job is if like you get caught saying some racist shit, which has happened 100 times. Like nowadays, oh f you, they have a racial slur, and as soon as it puts online, people find their name, they find their address, they find their job, they cut to the job. The job's getting a million emails, and people sending letters or whatever the fuck they're doing, and then they get fired. That I understand, but a trash can, it's like, I don't think she should have got fired, especially at like a high profile job like that. Like that sucks, And then now what should it be like? Fucking now it's gonna be hard for her to find another job now, I guess. Oh, you're the girl to the trash can. You're the girl outside online taking the trash can. We can't hire you. Like all that for I think me personally, I wouldn't have done it just for the fact that I wouldn't want to dump all that garbage on the floor. I would have been like, whatever. And plus, it's a Nick Dean garbage can. Who gives a fuck? Like, why do you need it? Why do you got to do that? Like, and look, did anyone else steal it? Because they're doing a giveaway now.
No,
so it looks like
that was the only one. That was the only one.
Yeah. So all the trash cans were intact. They kept them. So it looks like no one else did it but you. So now you're a double idiot. I mean, I don't know. Me personally, I just wouldn't have done it just because I don't give a shit enough to do it. Just sucks. Sucks on her part because now to even lose your job and get fined and then see them giving it away, you're like, man, I could have just bought it off somebody.
Yep.
Like somebody could have won it and you could just be like, "Oh, I'll give you $1,000 for that," and then you would have been okay. Um, yeah, sucks, but I think the firing was a bit much. That's probably just too harsh of a penalty for taking a garbage can. I mean, seriously.
What I think is she must have done something else before this to get fired for this. Because like I get it, but she must have been in some trouble. Because like to get I think the littering thing probably put it over the top. But like, yo, what did you do before this? Because when I'm to fire you over this, I feel bad for her now. She can't get a job because now not only are they adding the trash can, they're probably adding other shit that she did before that. Because like I feel like this is like the tipping point. So like, listen, I get being a Knicks fan and they're happy and that type of stuff. So but like how crazy you are to do that. It was you got caught in 4K. Like, come on, lady, you gotta be better than that, especially during that type of time. I just feel like it wasn't worth it. And now like you guys are saying they're selling them online. You could have just waited. Sometimes when you rush, you get into the worst position. I get it. That was an impulsive thing to do, and you got fired for it. Damn, that kind of sucks. I do really feel bad for her. I think it was a little bit much, but listen, man, you can't be stealing the property like that. So that's all I gotta say on that one.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it from this standpoint. It's like, yo, these companies now, especially now, everybody's tightening their wallets. It's like, yo, it's like they're looking for excuses to get rid of you. Any
Yeah,
excuse. So it's not like yeah, I would say yeah. Normally I would say yeah, it's probably yeah, they probably could have just suspended her for like a couple months. But now it's like, hey, you did this, we're probably good.
yeah,
Probably what
that's
they
what
were
I'm
thinking.
saying. She probably did other stuff that was kind of like this, and they were like, "We'd rather just let you go rather than keep suspend you for that type of stuff. It's just easier." Like they
Yeah,
were probably getting close to budget cuts anyway. It was like, "Yo, we get rid of someone, oh, sure, get rid of it." God damn it, it's rough out
yeah.
here.
That probably makes more sense that she kind of had like stuff piled up
Hmm.
already because
Yeah,
if it's somebody like very um like good for the company, you're not gonna fire somebody over a fucking garbage can.
yeah.
They're probably like, okay, this is the reason. Let's just use this as a reason to get rid of her.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
Yeah.
damn.
All right, I think
All
we're
right,
good.
well, that should do it for another edition of PGN. Follow us on all social media platforms. That's TikTok, that's YouTube, that's Instagram, as well as Bring the Real TV. You can watch all the video versions of the episodes here. For the audio versions, you go on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Anything
All
else you
right,
guys want to
guys.
say before we head out here?
No, I'm good, man.
I'm good
All
too.
right.
Make sure
All
to
right,
like,
guys.
comment, and subscribe. Yep.
We'll see y'all next week, man.